Hey guys, so in this quick video, I just want to show pretty much the things that I learned when it came to trading. So this is pretty much what I wish I knew from the start. So hopefully it helps you. Hopefully it makes sense. So this might be a little bit of a long video. Just want to get through these slides and feel free to watch it over and over. Obviously, if you want to speed me up, you can. I don't talk that fast. So yeah. Let's go through this together, and yeah, hopefully this will help you. So first thing is that you have to understand the truth about losing. So essentially most traders, they pretty much see a loss and feel pain, while professionals see a loss and they feel progress. Like every loss you take is tuition, right? So, doctors pay tuition in medical school, lawyers pay tuition in law school. So traders, we pay with small losses. So losses aren't punishment, they're the classroom. And if you treat them right, every loss carries the seed of your next win. So you have to basically crack it open, meaning to say, when you take a loss and you took a loss that follows your plan, what you need to do is figure out what happened. Why did you take that loss? How can you improve? How can you get better? You don't just move on to the next trade. You have to really understand why you took that loss, because the losses will tell you everything that you need to know about where you are in your progress. So most people just kind of skip over it and they just want to focus on the wins, but that's the wrong way to do it. So if I were you, I would just pretty much focus on the losing side first, right? You got to figure out why your trade lost, and that's pretty much the most important part. So I hope that makes sense. So the second thing is your first job as a trader. So most people, when they get into trading, they want to make money, they want to be rich, they see all these influencers on Instagram, social media, but what I can tell you is that your first role as a trader is to control the losing side, right? You don't create the wins, the market does. So your job is to control the losing side. Think of it like a farmer. You can't force crops to grow, but you can pull the weeds, water the soil, and protect the field. Do that and the harvest comes. Trading works the same way. So if you keep your losses small, protect the soil, and the market guarantees the harvest. Meaning to say that you don't control the winning side. When you place a trade and the market goes up, you didn't do anything. All you did was pray and hope. So what you do is you focus on the losing side. You focus on what you can control, and that is the only thing that you can control, is the losing side. So the market and the wins will take care of itself. If it wants to go up, it'll go up without your help. So that's why you need to focus on the losing side first, and then the winning side will take care of itself. Most people have this backwards, and that's what you need to start focusing on first. You need to really start to focus on the losing side and how you can control it. Because if you can do that, then the winning side will take care of itself. Third thing is the growth illusion, right? So this one, most people don't even notice it. They're not even aware to it. But early in your journey, your P&L is a liar. What that basically means is that, you can be getting better every single week, but your P&L won't show it yet. That's the trap. It's like going to the gym for 30 days and still looking in the mirror, wondering why nothing changed, right? But growth is invisible at first, but inside strength is building. So that's essentially what's happening, right? So same with trading, your account will lag behind your skill. The money shows up later, the growth happens first. So if you're wondering, I'm getting better, I'm getting smarter, but nothing, why am I not making any money? You're not alone. Like I wish someone would have told me that sooner, but that's just part of the journey, right? Because you can get smarter, you can get better, you can start to understand things, but you're not still making any money, and that's part of the trap. So I hope you really, really take this to heart and you understand that, and you're not alone. And yeah, it's just something that you have to go through. It can feel like at times you're taking 2 steps forward and 1 step back, but that's why it's the illusion. You can't focus on your P&L. You just trust the process and keep moving forward. So the fourth one is the hell phase. So every trader essentially goes through hell. So it's the stretch where nothing works, confidence shatters and you want to quit. It's like boot camp, brutal, painful, and necessary. You can't skip it. You must walk through it. And here's the good news. The second time you face hell, it's less scary. You realize it won't kill you. That's when you stop fearing it, and that's when you start to grow. most people, they try to dance around losses. They try to avoid it. They try to pretend it's not there. They try to find the holy grail where you'll never get a losing trade. 90% win rate, 80% win rate. You can't go around losing. You have to go through it. Just like everybody, you have to go through it. The sooner you go through it, the quicker you'll advance and move forward in your trading and your career in this path. So don't go around it, go through it, and you'll get through it a lot quicker if you do that. So the fifth one is the role of the ego. So everybody has that little voice saying, don't take it, wait, maybe it's reversing. That's not intuition, that's ego. Your ego is the worst business partner you'll ever have. It talks loud, but it never pays the bills. So the cure is a plan on paper. Paper doesn't lie, ego always does. So you trade the paper, not the chatter. Ego is consistent, it's unreliable, it'll betray you in your trades. So the only way that you can control your ego is by replacing it with your trading plan and sticking to your plan, because your thoughts and your feelings are always changing and they're unreliable. So you can't really trust that, especially when you're first starting out. You don't have intuition. Intuition won't come until your years of experience in being consistent and profitable. If you haven't had years of experience in terms of being profitable and consistent, then you don't have intuition. So the only thing you can do is stick to the plan and follow what's on paper. Don't follow what's in your thoughts, because your thoughts will betray you every time. And that leads me to the next thing, which is, paper over ego. So if you want freedom from fear, put it on paper before you put it in the market. Your entry, your stop, your target, done. Once the trade's live, the paper is your general. Soldiers don't rewrite the plan mid-battle, they execute, right? And that's what consistency comes from. So consistency comes from forcing every single trade through the same plan. So you want to let the paper take over, not your thoughts. That's where consistency is born. The only way you'll ever be consistent is if you follow a plan and you put every trade through that plan. If you deviate, or if you try to change the plan, or you add things or remove things as you're going through it, then you will never develop consistency. So really, 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 it takes a lot of discipline to be able to do that. As soon as you figure out what your edge is, as soon as you figure out what your plan and process is, you want to put every single trade through that as mechanically as you possibly can, because your thoughts will they'll pretty much hold you back for the most part, because they want it to sabotage you. There's like this inside saboteur who just doesn't want to see you succeed. And the only thing you can do is pretty much put it on paper and then just follow the plan, follow the plan, right? So hope that helps. Number 7, discipline. So discipline essentially is the great separator, right? So discipline is the single greatest separator of amateurs and professionals. Not brains, not fancy tools, discipline. The ability to do the right thing whether you feel like it or not. So the crazy part is, pretty much discipline you build in trading doesn't stay in trading. It spills into your fitness, your money habits, your life. Trading builds the trader builds the life. Meaning to say that whatever you do in your personal life and whatever you do in trading, they all commingle. So if you're a person who is disorganized, that'll show up in your trading. But if you're a person who is organized, then that will show up in your trading as well. So essentially, to be disciplined is to basically to do what you say you're going to do. That's basically what discipline is. Discipline is doing what you say you're going to do and doing what you know you have to do. Well, most people try to wait for motivation or look for motivation, but motivation never works because it's a feeling. You have to feel like you want to do something. You have to feel motivated. If you're not motivated, then what are you going to do? And that's where discipline comes in. So I always choose discipline over motivation. And it's the only way to actually get to where you want to go. As long as you focus on that and you continue to work on that, then everything will move smoother for you in your life. The next point is, pretty much success comes after experience. So what I mean by that is before experience, every win you get is just luck. So after experience, wins become repeatable. So think about airline pilots, thousands of hours logged before they're trusted with lives. You need those hours. Every trade through your plan, win or lose, deepens your experience, and experience is the only bridge to success. So most people in the beginning, they get the dopamine hit when they get a winning trade and they feel like, wow, this is the easiest thing in the world. Like, I can just do this full time, until the reality sets in and they realize that they got lucky and they need to create something that's repeatable. And the only way to do that is by having a process and going through the process and logging thousands of hours, or however long it takes. But that's essentially how you get there. Number 9, losing builds character. So every loss handled properly chisels you. It carves away weakness. The revenge trader inside you dies with every stop you respect. The impatient trader dies with every loss you accept. Losses don't destroy you, they sculpt you. Your future wins are locked inside your current losses. Break them open. You need to realize that with every losing trade comes a winning trade. And the only way that winning trade comes is if you take time to realize why you lost and see why you lost. And this way it'll shape you and it'll build you into the trader that you want to be. Instead of being afraid of them, embrace them, go through it. They will only help you grow, and you'll grow faster the sooner you embrace it. Number 10 is the numbers game. So most of you heard, about trading is math, nothing more. So one trade is meaningless. Casinos don't care if you win one hand of blackjack. They want you to win some so you stay at the table. What matters is the next 1,000 hands, right? So your edge only shows over 20, 50, 100 trades. So stop judging yourself on one. You want to be the casino, not the gambler, right? So essentially what that means is that you have to give yourself time and you have to give yourself enough trades to even determine if you have a process and edge that's repeatable and that works. If you change things and if you add things before you get through the first 20, then you'll never figure out and you'll never know if it actually works or not. So the only way that you can do that is trade in blocks of 20. So you trade in blocks of 20, you don't change anything, you get through the first 20, just like Mark Douglas talks about. And if you notice that you're profitable, then you see, why you were profitable. If you notice that you were not profitable, you see why you were not profitable. And then you look for ways that you can slowly tweak until you become, the profitable trader that you want to be. Now, 11 is execution over analysis. So here's the truth. Most traders don't lose because their charts are wrong. They lose because their trigger finger freezes. So, you know the setup, you've marked the level, the checklist is green, and then hesitation, doubt, fear, you wait for more confirmation. By the time you enter, it's gone. That's not bad analysis, that's bad execution. So your plan is the weapon, but only if you pull the trigger. So you need to find a way for yourself to be able to execute. And the only way you do that is by staying focused on the process, not the outcome. Just like execution over analysis, most people can become paralyzed with fear because most people are afraid of losing. They don't want to be wrong. And that's the ego. And every time you listen to that voice in your head or that feeling, you'll never make it in this game. That's why you have a plan and you look at the plan and you become mechanical and you just do your best to, click on the button to execute it when it says execute, meaning when your checklist is green. One clean setup a day, right? So essentially, one clean setup a day. This game rewards snipers, not machine gunners, meaning that, one clean setup executed flawlessly beats 10 half-baked ones every time. So think about it, would you rather bag one textbook 1 to 4 or burn out taking 10 random shots and finish flat? Snipers get paid, machine gunners get buried. So essentially, you want to focus and keep your attention on, one clean setup a day. And that clean setup, you want to make sure that it actually checks off all the boxes on your checklist. Because the thing is, A+ trades, they will come. You just need to be patient. And you can't treat every day as a trading day. Not every single day is going to have a trade. And that's something you really need to understand early on. Because if you're looking to find a trade every day, it's just not going to work. You're going to burn yourself out. That's not how it works. That's not what happens. Your job is to show up. That's your only job. Show up. If you're expecting and you're looking for a trade and you want to trade, every day, then you're in the wrong business, because that's not how it works. You show up, you wait, you see. If things match up to your plan, you execute, you get paid, or you lose. Either way, you learn and you move on. That's pretty much it. And best thing about this business is that, radical responsibility, meaning that, trading is the most honest business in the world. There's no boss, there's no economy to blame, there's no excuses. Every mistake is yours, every breakthrough is yours. That's the freedom, because if it's all on you, then you also have 100% of the power to change it. So that's a good thing, because if there's anything going wrong with you and you're trading, you're the one who's in control. You're the one who can change it, because you get paid based on your decisions that you make, right? In trading, you're really getting paid based on your decisions and your choices. So if you're losing, then you're making poor choices and you're making poor decisions, and you need to figure out why you're making those poor choices and why you're making those poor decisions. So you have control. The control is you. You are the Holy Grail. The Holy Grail is you. You are the Holy Grail. That's the only thing that you can change, and that's the only thing that you can control is yourself. So you need to pull it out of you and figure out why you are doing the things that you do and why you are not doing the things you know you're supposed to do. Once you become self-aware of your own self and your own thoughts and your own character defects and your own flaws, then you can begin to change, right? Fearless trading. So essentially, when it comes to fearless trading, fearless doesn't mean reckless. It means pulling the trigger the moment your plan says go without hesitation. The outcome doesn't matter. Process is the victory. So think about a surgeon. They're judged on following procedure, not whether every patient survives. The same goes for you. Greatness is an execution, not results. Life equals trading. Trading is just a mirror. As I mentioned earlier, it reflects you back to yourself, your patience, your greed, your fear, your discipline. So if you fix yourself, you fix your trading. Fix your trading, you fix yourself, right? So the qualities that make you a good trader are the same ones that make you a good human. Discipline, consistency, patience. The market is the training ground. So essentially, you're just looking in a mirror, and trading reflects your life. So if you don't make your bed, if you're sloppy, if you're chaotic, that's going to be reflected in your trading. But if you're organized, if you're patient, if you're disciplined in your personal life, that will show up in your trading. So you can't have one without the other. How you do one thing is how you do everything. And you need to be mindful of that, right? 16, the real payment. So people think success is about luck. It's not. It's about staying power. Life rewards the laster. Most traders blow up or quit within 3 years. If you survive, keep learning, keep risking small, suddenly you look lucky, right? But you're not lucky, you're just still standing. So that's when luck begins to shine on you. When you stay in this game and you outlast the majority, because most people, they'll just give up, when they don't find wins, when they don't find success, when they don't find the Holy Grail, they blame everything but themselves. They don't ever get a chance to look in the mirror and understand that they were the ones who were in control. They're the ones that failed, not the market. Once you understand that you're the responsibility, it's all on you, then you can begin to take control. And the only way to do that is by staying through and sticking with it. And sometimes, this may not be for you, and you also have to realize that for yourself as well. But I think everybody should give it a chance, and they should really take inventory of themselves so they can find out what's wrong with their trading. And you won't find it in the technicals, but you'll find it in your mentals. The final key. So here's the paradox. You don't win your way to success. You lose your way there. You learn to lose so small, so controlled, so consistent that the wins take care of themselves. So the trader who masters losing becomes the trader who cannot lose. So once you master losing, winning is inevitable. Most people have this completely backwards. You don't win your way to success, you lose your way there. You can't win your way to winning. It doesn't make any sense. You have to lose your way to success. And most people have this, pretty much backwards. And if you figure this out for yourself, you figure out that going through take control is the losing side. Because what do? As I mentioned before, the market goes up, the market goes down. You place it, what is do? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. So I hope that makes sense. I hope this helps. Go through it a few times. Take time to take notes. And if you have any questions, you guys can always let me know. But best of luck to you all. Thank you.